Hi everyone, welcome to Israel, right outside of Tveria, right on the Kinneret. It's nighttime outside, otherwise I'd have a beautiful, beautiful view in the background, but hopefully the Torah has the same effect this week. This week's Parsha is Parshat Pinchas, and this week's Parsha is full of action. It begins with the story of Pinchas, who in last week's Parsha at the very end ends up spearing these two people. We've spoken about it in the past. Very intense, crazy story, and action-packed way to start off the Parsha. Toward the end of the Parsha, we get more into more mundane things. It's dividing up the land, census is counting people, and finally the korbanot, the offerings that we'd give on different festivals. And as we've spoken about in the past about this week's Parsha, it brings up the idea in particular. We read it from the Torah every Rosh Chodesh. That you should bring one korban in the morning and one in the afternoon. And it's pointed out by many Mefarshim, many commentators, that this is one, if not the most important pasuk verse in the Torah, because it exemplifies the idea of consistency. Now, looking through this week's Parsha, those of you who are regulars in Shul will have many, many verses just like this pop out at you that you hear often, whether it's every Rosh Chodesh, the start of every new month, or on holidays. Now, one of them that popped out at me when I was reading through the Parsha this week is one that goes, Ka'ela, and everyone famously in shuls all sing this Ka'ela together. It's the beginning of this pasuk, this verse that talks about the Pesach offering, the offerings, the daily offerings that we'd bring every day of Passover of Pesach. Interestingly enough, Rashi comments that the offerings brought on Pesach are different than the offerings brought on Sukkot, not in terms of just the offering itself, but in the style of the offering. On Sukkot, every single day, we have a decreasing number of bowls in the offering. The offering changes every day. On Pesach, the offering is the same every single day. And it made me wonder, what's really going on here? Why is the offering the same on Pesach every day and different on Sukkot? So, looking at this through a macro lens, Pesach represents Jewish identity at the core of it, right? It's our origin story. And therefore, in order to build our identity, we need some sort of consistency to do so. Now, when it comes to Sukkot is a time not of identity, but of growth. We're coming off of Rosh Hashanah and Yom Kippur, these holidays of a lot of self-introspection, and now we have this ability to go above and beyond and to shake things up. And the korbanot are different because now we have to put more mental ability into understanding these korbanot and how changing them up every day will be able to will enable us to make change in our own lives. Now, why am I in Israel right now? How am I going to tie this all together? I'm here chaperoning on an NCSY trip on TJJ for students from public school that, for many of them, are being exposed to Judaism, to Israel for the very first time. And you come in thinking about all these wow moments at the Kotel for the first time, seeing, the Dead Sea, looking out of the Mediterranean, coming up north, looking at the mountains. And you think that these are the moments that are really going to change some of these kids' lives, this wow factor. But in reality, it's a little different. Already 2 days into the trip, it could be the slightest things make the biggest difference in a lot of these participants' experiences here in Israel for the first time. For example, we taught them a few songs today, and I told a story about this man who came in. He heard these Jews singing after the Holocaust. He came in and he said, how are you singing right now? We've gone through such a terrible, terrible time. How are you singing? And our rabbi pulled out a piece of coal from the fire that was lit over there, and he said, you see this piece of coal? Right? It's like a dark black piece of coal. It looks dead. It looks like nothing, but all you need to do is blow a little air on it and it will ignite. And then the coal it's able to form a fire. So too, the Jewish neshama has the same thing. You don't need to stoke the fire so much to make the coals light up. All you need is a little bit, you just need a little blow of air, and that's it. So it doesn't have to be the kotel, it doesn't have to be anything huge. It could just be one song that really changes someone's entire experience. And this connects back to this week's Parsha. My bracha to everyone this week is that we should understand that we have these Pesach moments and these Sukkot moments, these moments of consistency in which we build our identity, and we have these moments of growth in which we change things up a little bit. And we have to understand that our lives consist of both of these occurrences, daily, weekly, on a year-to-year basis, and we should all be cognizant of it and really be able to cater to other people. I guess I'm speaking for myself right now, to see maybe this person needs a wow moment now, and maybe they just need an identity building consistency moment. And with that, I wish you all a Shabbat Shalom.